Yeah, I appreciate you sitting down with me, Brent, because this will be, well, in February, Seeds Canada celebrated its third anniversary, and you took on the vice president's role about a year ago. And so you have now stepped into the president's role, taking over for Ellen Sperry. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
It's not an easy job being a president, leading the board of an organization. It's a challenge, to say the least. What are the biggest roadblocks that Seeds Canada members are facing right now? And as president, how will you help to move the needle on those?
First of all, thanks for the opportunity, Mark. I'm absolutely thrilled to be provided the opportunity to move into the chair of Seeds Canada. Lots going on, as you mentioned, and I think it would be remiss of me to not comment on Ellen Sperry and all of the things that she has done in her capacity as chair, both in Seeds Canada, but also with one of the legacy organizations, CSTA. So Ellen certainly paved the way, and so I feel that I'm in good hands now moving into the chair position. I prefer to look at it as opportunities or areas of focus, Mark, as opposed to referencing roadblocks. I also want to call out all of the efforts that the staff and the members have put forward, the board, since the inception of Seeds Canada. So if I was to identify a couple of these areas of focus or opportunities, I think the first one is the reference to the fact that we're going to immediately be picking up a review of our strategic plan. This is something that we did about 3 years ago when Seeds Canada was formed. And as most organizations do, they revisit their strategic plan, and our intentions are to do that here this fall. So that's a pretty exciting thing to do, to see if our so-called compass is still pointed in the right direction. And then the second area of focus, I think, for me and the President's chair will be to really look at value for our membership. It's a very sensitive topic. From day one, we've made a commitment that our members must feel that there's value in being members of Seeds Canada, and that's something that we're going to have a look at again, is to make sure that we are indeed providing direction, leadership, and offering our members what they are looking for from being a member of Seeds Canada.
What do you think it takes for a member of an organization like this to feel like they really do get value from being a member of Seeds Canada? What's that defining feature that you think an organization needs to bring to its members?
Yeah, I think engagement for sure is at the top, but also just feeling heard. And I know there's a lot of topics that are really going to be important for our seed industry in the next few years. So to make sure that those members feel that they're contributing, that they're being consulted, and very active in really charting the path of where we're going in Seeds Canada.
What do you feel has been the biggest success that Seeds Canada has had, and why?
Yeah, Mark, I won't just pick one. I'll touch on, I think, 4 areas that Seeds Canada has really moved the needle on since coming into form. First one would be SRM and the concept of the ISSB, which we had some really good discussions this week here at the annual meeting. The second one is in the area of intellectual property. The third one would be government relations. And the last one would be that of communications. So if I go back to the top with SRM and the seed regulatory modernization, this is an area that there were dozens of members, Mark, over the last couple of years that have really been engaged and I believe have really been at the forefront of advocating for the seed sector. It's not done yet, as you know, and we'll continue to be very committed to ensure that we have some contributions that are for the betterment of our seed industry. The ISSB, I was really happy with the conversations this week here in Edmonton. I'm certainly looking for further development of that. You heard Trish Jordan share with us some of her thoughts in terms of what's important in a concept such as the ISSB. So these two areas, I think, jump out at the top of the list for me. I mentioned intellectual property. The varietal use platform, or the varietal use agreement, rather, is something that also is really important, and really trying to facilitate breeders' protection and investment and long-term innovation opportunities for Canadian farmers. So I think intellectual property will continue to be very, very important for our industry. Government relations, I think we implemented a GR strategy this year, and we'll continue to work on that. I think there's certainly lots of opportunities for us. We hosted our first lobby days on Parliament Hill last fall, and we'll do the same thing again coming up here in 2024. So those areas are really, really important, I think, for Seeds Canada moving forward. And I think if one other area that, if we look back, we're really proud of, and that is the communications, and continue to exploit and capitalize on our strong communication strategy, which is really guiding our messaging and providing support for our members. Very active online and with social media and other areas. We had our first Seed School initiative that we launched this past year as well as our annual and semi-annual meetings. So those are kind of four big buckets, if you will, that when I look back, probably our biggest successes thus far.
So one thing going forward that you think Seeds Canada could definitely do better on?
Yeah, I think it comes back to gaining alignment and making sure that, when we're out surveying members for input, it's always a tricky thing. In the business world, you're not always going to get alignment on topics. And I think that's an area that we'll continue to focus on, to really make sure that we do the best of our ability to get members' input, so that when we as a board can put forward solutions that are really for the betterment of the seed industry.